Is that Sam Presti right there on NBA TV? Because he's been out here messing around doing a bunch of stuff. What's wrong? You good? You see something?
I'm seeing a pick for... Yeah, the Mavericks have traded back into the second round.
Wow.
The Kings are trading the number 37 pick to the Mavericks for 2 future second-round picks.
Breaking news on 105 through the Fan is presented by Beat the Streak. For tips to win a $5.6 million prize, listen wherever you get your podcast. You have the details on said trade for the Dallas Mavericks.
So again, the details are the 37th pick, which we talked about, late 30s, from the Kings is going to the Mavericks. The Mavericks will send 2 future second-round picks. I don't have anything else on that. However, we do have Shams Charania and Adrian Wojnarowski giving us the little heads up on who the Mavs are focused on, quote-unquote, with the 37th pick, as of course it hasn't gone official on ESPN, the broadcast. However, it seems like Jaden Hardy would be the pick. Jaden Hardy looks like who the Mavs traded back into the second round of the NBA draft to get. So your Mavs actually drafting a pick here in this 2022 NBA draft.
Well, let's get you some particulars on Jaden Hardy from the G League Ignite. 6'4", 190 pound guard, 6'4", 190 pounds. Some of the pre-draft analysis, if you will. This coming from ESPN here. Let's see here. I lost exactly where I was going to go.
Yeah. So okay. So I can give you.
There we go. I found it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So apparently G League Ignite, he 17 points, 26.9% from 3, which isn't great when we talk about the G League. 3 assists, 1.3 blocks. So this is the breakdown that that Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer has on Jaden Hardy. Hardy was a top high school recruit whose draft stock plummeted during a poor season with the G League Ignite. But at this point of the first row, where he was thinking someone should take a shot. He calls him a pure bucket getter who needs to improve his efficiency in playmaking. That seems to make sense, right? When you end up with a guy this low. And the one thing that they talk about is that his ball handling. So his pluses are he's a smooth ball handler with a deep bag of moves to create space and launch shots off the bounce. He can elevate without setting his feet and find his balance midair. So since high school, isolation scoring has been the center of his game. Does that sound interesting? Now he needs to extend his range as a shooter to continue to excel. This season, he made 35.7% of his pull-up twos, compared to only 27.4% of his threes off the dribble. So he's potentially a knockdown shooter who can drain threes after running around screens. He's the type of player who can run hard into the catch, turn, and shoot. He made 36.6% of his catch and shoot threes in the G League, which is actually pretty decent if you talk about that. So made solid progress, pick and roll ball handler in the G League. He operates with newfound patience, navigating screens. Though he's not a stopper, he battles on defense, fighting through screens, and even taking charges. So with long arms, he could be a quality defender if his level of consistency improves. This just feels like another wing, because we talked about these Mavs needing wing depth. But yeah, this could be interesting here.
Looks like he owns a bedazzler too.
Hey, that man looking like new age Elvis up here. I like it. There's some big lapels on that suit.
The pick is in. He led the Ignite, averaging nearly 20 points per game this past season. And the pick made by the Sacramento Kings on behalf of the Dallas Mavericks, Jaden Hardy being selected at number 37 overall by the Sacramento Kings. That pick being made, though, for the Dallas Mavericks. He was the number 2 recruit in ESPN's 100 back in 2021. So this coming from ESPN's Tim McMahon, Mavs take a swing at a guard who was considered a lottery prospect before a disappointing season with the G League. So the Mavericks trading back into the second round, which we had heard rumblings that they were wanting to do, and they actually did, as they trade with the Sacramento Kings for 2 future second round picks, and they take Jaden Hardy out of the G League Ignite.
It's a nice flyer. It's a nice flyer pick, is it not? I mean, obviously you had to go and get it, but I mean, I like this idea of a guy who, again, has lottery level talent. He just needs to get consistent and see about getting that together. And the idea that the upside of him becoming a dude who can kind of get his own shot, a dude who can do things on his own, but also when somebody's creating for him can knock down shots. I think that's a really interesting proposition. Also, it seems like he can he should be able to defense if he or play defense if gives out effort, which is really what the Mavs have been doing all season long.
So the Mavericks trade second-round picks in 2024 and 2028 to Sacramento for the right to select Jaden Hardy. This according to Mark Stein, longtime NBA insider. Again, the news being that the Mavericks trade into the second round and select Jaden Hardy out of the G League Ignite to be able to be a part of their roster. You kept talking about, 6'4", 190, can go get his own bucket, that kind of thing. Not saying he's going to be any of these players, but it kind of puts you in the mind of, a Bradley Beal, a Damian Lillard.
Well,
type of thing.
Do you want me to give you the names that Kevin O'Connor gives, as the players that he has shades of, which is apparently his how he's talking about comps without saying that this guy is those guys, right?
Uh-huh.
But he gives you shades of, according to Kevin O'Connor, Bradley Beal, Cam Thomas, Dion Waiters.
Okay.
So those are some of the profiles of players that you could kind of think about. High volume scorer, it seems like. Decision making can be, a little bit of a question. That might be where the Dion Waiters comes in a little bit. He can be a defensive liability because of, sometimes he might look unmotivated or apathetic. But like the tools are there, and I think this is where they're trusting Jason Kidd and his history of development, and along with Sean Sweeney and his history of development, particularly when it comes to defense. I think that they're trusting those guys to help this guy come along, and with also following in behind and playing alongside and practicing with the likes of Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock and those guys to hopefully help him become more efficient, more effective, and absolutely just give more effort when it comes to playing.
And yes, from the 214, a couple of 214s, yes, Trevor Keels is still available from Duke.
That's a guy who the Mavs were attached to, so that's interesting that they ended up going for Jaden Hardy here.
Also, EJ Liddell still available out of Ohio State when as far as the draft is concerned. From the anyone said Dion Waiters, I'm out. Trade him back.
And that's the tough thing about comps, right?
But hey, Dion Waiters was a whole bucket, man.
And also, you're not drafting this guy in the first round.
Correct.
Like, you're in a place where you're either, if you don't have some level of concern, then I don't know how this person got here. You're going to have some concerns here, but this is the place where you take either a raw prospect or something like that, and you go and you work to make sure that player maximizes their potential. And the thing with Jaden Hardy is that it seems like he has a lot of potential. It's just you're going to have to do the organizational work to bring it out of him.